How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin is falling down a bit today. We are below 105,000. This is right after we were at 109,000 yesterday. It seems like there might be some escalations happening with Israel and Iran. I want to go through that, talk to you about what Trump just said. We also have some new data coming in that could definitely affect interest rates tomorrow, the interest rate decision. The big short trader, Steve Eisman, is saying the Iran conflict could possibly be extremely positive for markets, which is fascinating. And some different crypto news that we should cover as well. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to BYDeFi underneath the video. I am setting up a sweet bonus with them, or a sweet trading competition, where if you trade $1 million worth of volume, you automatically get AirPods. If you trade over 5 million, you get an iPad. Over 20 million, you get a new iPhone, you get a Louis Vuitton backpack, and Rolex, assuming you trade enough. And of course, that is volume. So, I mean, in theory, you could spend $1,000 and trade it enough or leverage it enough to be able to get those rewards. But of course, do your own research. Like, I would make sure that you're trading for the actual trade and not just the rewards, but a little bonus, a little extra for you guys to sign up and start trading. Also, you can trade crypto with crypto as collateral. This is something I love. You can trade Bitcoin and get paid back in Bitcoin when the trade goes your way. And what do you know? Like, we are near a new higher low. If we continued up from here, if we went up from 105, we would put in a new recent low, or a new higher low, which would be, I think, extremely positive for Bitcoin. Of course, the market is a little bit scared today. We have Market Watch showing us that the traditional markets are down a little bit, about 0.25%. Bitcoin is down 4.5% from yesterday at the peak. So the markets are a bit scared. There's some liquidations happening in crypto over the last hour. About 100 million long has been liquidated. Of course, these are people that are fairly aggressive. I always talk about low leverage, like 3, 4, 5x, and being able to add margin, but some people go on 40, 50, 100x. So yeah, these people are getting liquidated a bit. Oh, by the way, BYDeFi also allows you to deposit now, which is pretty sweet, straight from your bank account. So it makes it even easier. But let's continue. Trump said, "I have not reached out to Iran for peace talks in any way, shape, or form. This is just more highly fabricated fake news. If they want to talk, they know how to reach me. They should have taken the deal that was on the table. Would have saved a lot of lives." Ooh, would have saved a lot of lives. Now, we saw last night that the U.S. was telling people to get out of Iran, basically get out the capital if you're there. We saw China and Russia tell their citizens to get out of Israel. So, like, these governments know something big is happening, are telling people get out of the region. It's seeming to get worse, which has definitely caused some concern. Now, what are whales doing with all this news? Like, are they selling assets? Are the big institutions like BlackRock and Fidelity telling people to funnel out of risk on assets? No. You can see yesterday we had $83 million in inflows for Fidelity, $264 million in inflows for iBit. They continue to buy. All last week was positive for iBit as well. Even with concerns, they're buying Bitcoin. And I've explained why that might be. It's because when there's times of conflict, the money printer goes on. And when the money printer goes on, risk on assets do well. People try to find a place to put money, and they put in scarce assets. We continue to see more and more companies announcing strategic reserves. iPower announces a strategic shift towards crypto treasury and blockchain infrastructure services. So another Bitcoin company that continues every single day. Fold secured a $250 million equity purchase facility to go buy more Bitcoin. Every single day, there are companies buying Bitcoin. And of course, the price isn't going up today, but do you need the pat on the back of the price going up to make yourself feel good about buying it? Or can you see everything that's happening? See that we're heading towards possible new war, and yet the Bitcoin market barely even cares. There's so many companies buying Bitcoin, so many entities buying Bitcoin. And it typically does really well after conflict. So like, let's not just hope and pray that it goes up. Let's take advantage of when it is down a bit. We're only 8% away from all-time highs too. Like, it does not take much to get us at all-time highs. Solana ETF approval chances just went up. They went from 63% to 76% in the last 24 hours on Polymarket. So other cryptos are coming. You'll be able to buy other cryptos straight in your brokerage account. Some people think crypto is so risky too. It's funny. You can see the tax bill. The U.S. Senate tax bill phases out wind and solar credits, zero investment tax credits by 2028. And you can see all these different companies that were blowing up back in 2020, 2021. Like so many people were investing in them, just absolutely falling off a cliff. 25%, 15, 16%, 12%, 7%. Like all these companies getting smacked. I think last time I looked, even Tesla's getting smacked a little bit by this. But this is bound to happen, right? Like if you invest in a specific stock, depending on how big they are and how profitable they are, obviously they can fall down a lot. Even some of the biggest tech companies in the world can fall 10, 15% a day, just like Bitcoin. So I would not think that Bitcoin's that much riskier than any other asset right now, any individual stock. Even when we saw a dip back a couple months ago with all the tariff news, Bitcoin fell less than some of the biggest companies in the world. So the EU is now saying that there are trade talks with the U.S. that are advancing. So there could be some good news on the way. It's not just the U.S. saying it, it's the EU saying that. So hopefully we get more news on tariffs soon. Obviously, Jerome Powell speaks tomorrow and gives the Fed rate decision. I've seen so many people post that it's happening today, but no, it's happening tomorrow. Retail sales came in a little bit lower than expected. Let me play this for you.
Away from retail sales and import prices, the futures this morning are weaker, not as weak as they've been, though, down 160 right now for the Dow. Let's get right over to Rick Santelli at the CME in Chicago. Rick.
Yes, we can see yields moving lower. The market's smart. Retail sales for the month of May coming in at minus 0.9%, almost down 1%. This is much more aggressive to the downside than we were expecting.
Okay, so that might be scaring the market a little bit, but in my mind, it also indicates that there's even more of a chance for them to soften up and start lowering rates more aggressively. Retail sales falling means less inflation. Now, Steve Eisman talks about the Iran conflict possibly being extremely positive for markets. Let's play that real quick.
Steve Eisman. He is the host of the Real Eisman Playbook podcast. He's also former senior portfolio manager at Neuberger Berman. And Steve, we always love having you in.
Thank you for having me again.
Thanks for coming in to talk today. We just teased that you are not worried at this point about the Fed. You're not really focused on the deficit at this point. What are you focused on?
Two things. Tariffs and the potential for a trade war, I think, is really the only risk to the market right now. It's completely binary, and I really have no way of handicapping it. And then, what's going on in Iran right now, I think, is actually potentially extremely positive for both markets and the globe.
Okay, talk about the positivity on Iran, because most people look at that and think, oh my gosh, potential for a wider war. What does that mean?
I play it out as if nothing had happened. Mm-hmm. Iran, as we all know, was very close to getting a nuclear weapon, and unfortunately, Iran is run by a government, and the only way you could call it is a death cult. And so, if Iran had gotten nuclear weapons, that would have meant that Turkey would have wanted nuclear weapons, Saudi Arabia would have wanted nuclear weapons, the entire region would have armed, and that would have been a disaster. So getting rid of a death cult anywhere on planet Earth, I think is a very positive thing, especially when that death cult is close to getting nuclear weapons.
Was the market kind of factoring that in before, or this is a...
I think the market was just not focused on it, and now it's focused on it, but I think potentially it's unbelievably positive.
Okay. Tariffs and...
So... we'll stop it there, but that's kind of an interesting take. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about that. Most people are worried about things getting worse, but maybe there's less uncertainty over the future now. Okay, now I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching. If you do want to trade crypto, you can check out BYDeFi underneath the video. If you already trade on BYDeFi, let me know. We were trying to set up a good campaign here, and if you'd rather have crypto in the future versus these rewards? Let me know down below in the comments if you trade crypto. Would you rather get a Louis bag, or would you rather get some free Bitcoin or stable coins or something like that? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.